Be Lord, get together. Be Let's to the Lord, and I will be Lord. Let's get together. Be Lord, dance and praise to the Lord. Be Lord. Yes, let me say good night to everyone. Welcome to a new edition of the Workers' Voice. Let me say good evening to all Dominicans, wherever you may be. Tonight in studios with us, we have our International Secretary. I call him Dr. McDonald Thomas, TC, Dr. Thomas, and our own political leader, Honorable Dr. Thompson Fontaine. Well, over the past couple of weeks, we have been on the roll and run with a number of programs geared at sensitizing the public and creating that public awareness, or we could call it the public awareness campaign, electoral reform, and other issues affecting Dominicans by and large. And so far, we have had one for Roseau and Environs at the CSA sometime last week Tuesday, and this week we were in Cassibros, and next week we are going to St. Joseph, and the week after we are going to Marigot. So yes, Dominicans by and large, we are on the run with respect to the People's Program. You have asked for it, and we are doing just that. In fact, let me just say to some of you who have lost loved ones, let me say, I know when you are you are grieving, you're in a state of grief right now, many of you. And, the good Lord never give us more than we can take. I know some of you have relatives who are ailing at this point in time. We pray God's blessing upon them and ask for speedy recovery. Dominicans themselves, we are going through our own economic shocks, and we know things are hard, but we continue to push the agenda of the people, and we always ask the people to help us so that we can help you, meaning that you need to get the United Workers' Party back into office for the good days to come back, so that we will restore our democracy and to ensure that good governance, accountability, and transparency continue to prevail in this country. By and large, tonight we are going to actually emphasize on good governance, and particularly, the judicial system in general, not necessarily talking about the case, but we've had members of our own party under what we call our term political persecution. And so we as people, I don't think we should be subjected to such behavior or such condition, because I don't think we have reached the stage where members of the opposition should be personally be prosecuted or persecuted because they have a different view. And so you've seen the Right Honorable Mr. Lennox Linton be one of those, called in this incitement case, Mr. Edison James, former Prime Minister of Dominica, and obviously our own leader of the United Workers' Party, Honorable Dr. Thompson Fontaine. As I say in this, so we know that we have three branches of government exist in the Commonwealth of Dominica: the executive branch, and we have the legislative branch, and we have the judicial branch. And the emphasis tonight will be on the judiciary, or the judicial aspect of one of the three branches. So let me just say good night to our executive members, to all our caretakers, to Dominicans at large, wherever you are. Good evening to Roseau Central. I'm your host tonight, Glenn Royce Coffee. And Roseau Central, I thank you for the work that you continue to do. We continue to do what we have to do. It is not being talked about, but we know we are doing what we have to do. And many of the other constituencies are engaged in community work. So tonight, I just want to have Dr. TC actually give his opening remarks, and followed by the leader of the United Workers' Party. Dr. TC, how was today? I saw you by the court, and but I mean, in your opening remarks, you can maybe reflect on some of the things that you've observed, but welcome, sir.
Well, good night to each and everyone. I'll start off by saying this was my first venture into a court in the Commonwealth of Dominica. Never been into a courthouse before.
Wow. Did you say your first venture in the kangaroo court?
Kangaroo court. So it was a very interesting, and I'll elaborate on that later on my next time around. But this evening, I want to say a special good evening to the executive branch, to the president, and obviously to our political leader who is in house, to all the members of the executive. I want to say good evening to the constituency of Wesley, the Wesley Constituency Association of the UWP. Special good evening to our selected candidate, Mr. Jean Francois. I want to say good evening to the people of St. Croix. And every time I try to mention a few names, I don't necessarily can call everybody, but I'll tap on a few names every time, to Doreen, Hasten, Coltad, Terry, and Marsley tonight. Those are the ones I'm going to hail out tonight. Thanks for the support. We appreciate the continued support and the continued commitment to support. I want to say good evening to all our listeners in Antigua. We are looking and thinking of you, and we know you're out there listening, and you are playing your part in supporting the party. Special good evening to the people of Guadeloupe. You know, so I actually went to Guadeloupe for the first time a few weekends ago. Woke up one morning and said, you know what, I've never been to Guadeloupe, and probably the only person who haven't been to Guadeloupe in Dominica.
Were you shocked that Guadeloupe is so close and you could see the mass difference? You want to tell us about that?
No, I was disappointed when I came back to look at how far behind Dominica is behind Guadeloupe, 15 minutes flight away. Oh, I was really, really, really shocked. I could not believe it.
Wow.
Amazing. So good evening to each and everyone. I want to remind the people of Wesley that on Valentine's Day, February 14th, come out to the 4 Road. We're going to have a social event there. We're going to have some dominoes. We're going to have some prizes. You can win a bottle of wine. We'll have a cake on raffle, and we'll have some entertainment, karaoke. You can come and do some singing. So come on out at about 6 o'clock on Friday the 14th to 4 Road. Mm-hmm. And enjoy the social, just a community get together and a lover's ball, so to speak.
Wow.
And if you have a go well, you can come out there too. That you can be part of the event. So with that, I'll stop for now, and I'll go ahead and turn over to the political leader.
All right, gentlemen, it's great to be with you in studio tonight. And let me say, of course, welcome and a very good night to all of our listeners. I just want to begin on a sad note, though, to extend condolences to the family there of Mr. Asquith Archibald, better known as Archie of Monjon, who passed at the China Friendship Hospital. Princess Margaret Hospital. And certainly want to extend our condolences to his family there in Monjon. Came as a shock to all of us, and we certainly would like. I saw him not too long ago, and certainly extend condolences. You know, it's amazing how quickly you disappear into this China Friendship Hospital. It's becoming almost at the stage where anybody who goes there, you know, you worry about them. You worry about them, and
wow.
Certainly want to extend our condolences. And every time I hear of a death at the hospital, I think about our healthcare system and how far down it has come and how we need to build it up. And it's even worse when you think about the millions of dollars that have been spent to prosecute the opposition, monies that could go into our health system, money that could go into doing other things in Dominica, putting lights in the Windsor Park so we can get our cricket and all of these very good uses that we could have. But we have been, as also said, we've been around Dominica. We've had 2 very successful town hall meetings so far on electoral reform, but also on what we believe to the public of Dominica needs to hear as far as the governance of this country is concerned. And basically to say that the elections have consequences. That is not just about electoral reform, but it's about the consequence if you get it wrong. And we have gotten it wrong in Dominica with that leadership that we have in place. As I said, it's a leadership that is bankrupt.
So
that is just, you know, when you can spend that kind of money to be at war with your citizens, that is a problem. You know, it really is a problem when you're trying to make good people look bad. And, you know, I sat in this thing there and I was saying, you know, we should have it have been good to have a picture for the Dominican public to see the, you know, inside of the courtroom and where we are as upstanding Dominican citizens and having to be placed in a box. The three of us there, and I thought of all of the other famous political trials across continents, in South Africa and elsewhere across the globe. And that's how we felt today, because, you were seeing the struggle that the prosecution had in defining exactly what crime we have committed. How can you charge somebody for crime and you don't know what crime the person committed?
That's
You
correct.
know, it just shows the degree to which politics has polluted our judicial system and how we need to fix that. So there's a lot of things that we need to fix in Dominica, and we have been going around Dominica, informing the Dominican public. We were last in Casibros this past Tuesday. Next Thursday, we will be in St. Joseph. Next Thursday, we'll be in St. Joseph. And then the following week on the 18th, we will be in Marigot. The following Tuesday, we'll be in Marigot. So just want to announce that for those of you, and we want to encourage you in the surrounding areas, especially for next week. All of you from Roseau all the way back on the West Coast, we're encouraging you to, find your way to St. Joseph. It's going to be great. We're going to have additional speakers. We're expecting to hear from Dr. Irvin Pascal and others who will join that discussion that we'll be having. It will be in form of a public meeting, though. It will not be a town hall. It'll be a public meeting, so it'll be open. So we're expecting to see a massive crowd of people there in St. Joseph. Okay, let us hit the trail. It's all about bringing the message to the people of Dominica, and St. Joseph is a good place for us to do that, and we'll be there on Thursday the 18th.
Yes, and as you say, the people, they have spoken. We have been not actually pressured. We put a plan together. We don't have to come into the public and say everything that we do, but for certain, we have been listening to the people, and so far it has been encouraging to see us, intermingle with the various communities. And by the way, the work is ongoing, not because we do not have a town hall meeting means that we are conspicuously absent. No, we are always present, always on the ground, doing what we have to do. And being on the ground is in many forms. It is not just because people have to see you doing things. You can use your telephone and do groundwork. We can be physically present walking in the houses, but that we know for sure is happening.
Yes.
But gentlemen, it is interesting that when we talk about the judicial system, a lot of people, they have been concerned, and especially citizens though. You have matters you have Dominicans, especially citizens, have outstanding matters in the courts, and they have been left to languish for so long. I mean, for years. See that incitement matter, 8 years.
8 years.
And you have many other persons who are facing, just remanded at the state prison for so many years, probably even exceeded the if at all they were brought to justice and would be found guilty, would have probably, the time they spent in prison, remanded, would have exhausted the time they would have given them for their penalty. So that is some of the things too we have to look at. But what I do know is that, gentlemen, we have to be concerned as a small island state that, the judicial system is not supposed to be favoring one person or the other. It's supposed to favor every citizen, which means that you have a matter in the court, supposed to go to the court and make sure the matter is ironed out, and let the ruling take place, let the matter be ventilated through the courts, let decisions be made.
Regardless of who you are.
Regardless of who you are. You cannot be in a matter, and because you join the government, the matter should be thrown on, and the rest of the people thrown out, and the rest of the people have to be facing the same thing. If you have a justification for not one, should have a justification for not everybody. That is what we call equity and equality in terms of the justice system. But, Doc, it has been many years now you have been going to that court, and you have spent quite a lot of money. And by the way, let me say, a lot of people may think we are not taking the matter to the public, but the public themselves, we have to say too, the public has been supportive of all the move that we are doing. They have been spending their monies, they have been contributing to make sure that we can challenge this government. And it's only fair that we can relay certain aspects of the matter to the public. So when people saying that we're taking the matter to the public, I don't totally believe that we are actually doing so, but it's just informing the public what is necessary at the time. So I think it's always important to inform and to engage the public. So Dr. Thompson Fontaine, you have been one of the persons being, on trial for incitement. I don't know what kind of incitement. Because if you call somebody a thief, you have to say what the person steal. You cannot just say generally I'm a thief. What I do, So, can you tell us more about that? Because I mean, you have been in this matter, Mr. James, Honorable Lennox Linton. These are people who have served this country well, and you all have done what you have to do. Why you treat it so differently from others?
Yes, indeed, and let me just start by saying a big thank you to the many persons who showed up. We asked for people to come up and show their solidarity, and they were there in the hot sun today, and I really want to thank all of you for that. It was very encouraging. It was very heartwarming to step out of the court this morning and to see the people that were there waiting to receive us. I thought that's a great way to show support for us, and I want to thank in particular those who came from my constituency. There were certainly a couple of bus loads from Grandford that came down this morning, and I was very happy from Grandford Rivier Cyric, and I'm very happy that they were there to show their support. I mean, I felt really, really good to see them, and let me say a big thank you to all of you. That was truly that was great. That was great, and I had nothing to do with it. I did not plan it. I did not engage in it, but people did it on their own, and that made it even more satisfying, and the concern and love that they continue to show, for me and for those of us in the party and those who are going through this. It has not been easy, because part of it is that, and that's a serious thing, because I heard the prosecutor tell the judge today that this could be, if found guilty, that's a 7-year prison sentence that could be imposed on you. And it's very strange that with that we were served a huge bundle. I received a bundle, 73 or so witnesses, and I'm wondering about where did those witnesses come from? But it's very interesting. Out of this bundle, I mean, I can't discuss the case, but I will just say that out of this bundle, just a couple of people mentioned my name, Yet I am here facing that charge along with Mr. James and Mr. Linton. But it was very interesting in that the charge of incitement, was not well defined, and that's where most of the discussion was spent this morning. What exactly are we being charged with? So, in other words, we went into the court not knowing what exactly we were charged with. We left the court not knowing exactly what we were charged with. It's very, very, even, the judge tried his best to get the prosecution to exactly describe what it is. And I think at the heart of this is that if you say you incite somebody, so for example,
right,
I could incite you to the point where I tell you go and burn down that house, right? So you burn the house.
Right.
My incitement or getting you or talking to you, I planned with you.
Convince me.
I convince you, burn the house. There is arson at the end of it.
Yeah.
Okay, the house is burned down. And so on and so on. So I'm charged with that. Okay, because I spoke to you directly, I encouraged you, and you went to do it.
The act was done.
And the act was done. Yeah. Okay, so you have the act. So I can go up for you did the actual burning, but they could take me up on incitement because I incited you to do the act.
Right.
That is clear. But in this case, who did we incite?
Yeah.
Who did we conspire with? Who did we talk to do anything on that? That's and I think that is where this problem is. So where this thing is now, without going into too much detail, is that it has been challenged. The legality of this charge has been challenged by our lawyers. In every case, the lawyers have challenged it. And then also, you recall that when we went through the magistrate's court, our lawyers argued for separate trials for all of us. That was agreed in the magistrate's court. And all of a sudden, it comes back together that we have been charged jointly in the High Court. So that too is been challenged, and the judge has allowed 2 weeks for the defense to put in writing whatever it is that they have said does not justify us being before the courts. There'll be 2 weeks. There'll be a week for the prosecution to respond, and then they will come together on the 27th of February to have an oral argument, because in addition to the written submission, there'll be an oral argument. And based on these arguments and whatever is written in the law, the judge will look at it and make a determination as to whether there is enough for us to actually be arraigned, which means the charges read to us,
Right.
and whether there will be a trial. So that's where we are. So we still have a long way to go. No means out of it, out of the woods, but it's just really sad.
Yes, we were
But
just
we
about
take-
taking calls. Yeah, we'll take the calls as we go along. Yes, caller, good evening.
Good evening, sir. Good evening to all your panel.
Good evening,
evening,
sir.
sir.
Yeah, I was watching the news today, and I saw some very similar type of action taken by a known dictator, right? She persecuted the opposition. She beat up the demonstrators. They were just sick and tired of her. And she did so much, but she is still claiming that she was following the law and that they were breaking the law. So you see how these dictators are? They take over and it's under a democratic system. In a democratic system. And she don't want people to demonstrate. She beat them up and still want to prosecute them for all kinds of made-up charges. To the point now the people are so frustrated they went and burned down her father's house because her father represented something in the minds of the people that made them very angry because she's using her father's name to sort of stay in power. I that's as specific as I want to get, but it just shows you that it becomes like a legacy.
Right.
Father was involved, now daughter involved, same kind of brutalization of the people. This is just so insane, and it seems to me that is where we are going. And earlier I said, that this government is acting in a way to infuriate people. But when you behave in a way to infuriate people, when they get infuriated and they react, even if they just do what is considered legal demonstration within their democratic rights, you want to take them to court for exercising their legal rights to demonstrate. You want to take them to court for their legal rights to demonstrate within a democratic arena. And that is abuse. Mr. Skerritt, that is abuse. And you must stop that nonsense because people know what you're doing. We already know there's examples of it. There's history. We know what it is when someone is abusing power, using the judicial system to prosecute people in a democratic situation. It's well known, and it will backfire eventually on you, Mr. Skerritt. Be careful, it will backfire. But again, Dominicans have been slow to act. We have been very tolerant, and I hope the court is taking note of that. We have been very tolerant for many years, even for this one issue of electoral reform. Look how long you are delaying and even trying to manipulate it in your favor. All that must be noted. Anyway, gentlemen, good luck on all. Enough said.
All right,
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very
Thank you
much.
for your contribution.
Let's
Yes,
just
sir.
go to this. Okay, we seem to have lost the caller.
So,
We can
Doc-
ask them to try.
We get a call again.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
lost the caller.
Okay, so Dr. TC, your take on it as well.
So as I said, I was going to elaborate later on. As
Yeah.
I sat in the courthouse today, and what I saw was I was looking at what was supposed to be or what is supposed to be democracy, and I looked at Mr. James, and I saw someone who did things in Dominica, built secondary schools, built high schools, the Northeast Comprehensive, the Grand Bay
Right.
High School, Grand Bay Secondary School, Cassie Bruce. And I'm thinking there are people that are now in positions that went through those things that Mr. James did. And I looked at Mr. Linton and I thought, here is a man who have been fighting for democracy in Dominica,
Right.
who has brought money back to the treasury.
Right.
Somebody who has told us and asked the correct questions as to where our money is and what is being done with our money. And then I looked at Dr. Thompson Fontaine and I looked at someone who has disclosed to us how broken our economy is and what it is and how it is we as a party and with him as the leader can fix that economy. And I looked at the three men sitting in a wooden cage. And to me, it just it was unbelievable that you had these three basic, to me, defenders of democracy sitting there being persecuted by so-called leadership of a country. And to me, it just tells you where we are as a country, but this is what, in my view, tyrants do. This is how they oppress people, because if you can oppress those who are at the top, then you can those at the bottom, you can drive fear into those who are below or who are followers. True leaders understand the meaning of leadership. And in case you may not have known, my doctorate is in management and organizational leadership.
Right.
So I've done a lot of studying on leadership. And what we have right now is dysfunctional leadership.
Right.
A tyrant.
And a real tyrant. And as Dr. Fontaine said, electoral reform, we keep harping on electoral reform, but it is crucial, because when you take away, there's a big talk about disenfranchising voters. But when you bring people into the system who are not eligible to be in the system, then you are disenfranchising the people who are supposed to be in the system legitimately. We have a caller?
Yes, caller, go ahead. Caller, good evening.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening, sir.
For avoidance of doubt, my name is Aaron Thomas, the man from Black City.
Oh, yeah. If Dominica could talk, but Dominica is talking, Let's go.
Yes, my brother. It's interesting because in my comments when I called Lennox on the radio soon after the prosecution thing came out.
Right.
The first remark I made was that this was an assault, an attack, a declaration of war on the people of Dominica. And I do understand that the judge made a similar remark in his review of the matter at court. I'm not too sure if he did. Did he make a similar remark?
It was a question, I think. More
Yes.
Yes.
No, basically what he said was, similar. He said that, the government should not be seen to be waging or fighting war, fighting a war against its people.
During war, the people of Dominica. And that's precisely, I think that judge listened to Q95.
No, he doesn't. He said
He doesn't know.
He
No, he doesn't.
do anything. He doesn't listen to social media. He doesn't listen to radio.
No, he doesn't. No.
He didn't do that, but he's a judge that understands that something is wrong with this whole matter. And so he has a lot thinking like all you brilliant guys there, you patriotic citizens that are being persecuted by the system, and all of us who support you and who are confident that this is a frivolous matter that began nowhere and is going to end nowhere. And Roosevelt and his cabal have declared war on the people of Dominica. They're fighting a battle that they're going to lose. Cabal, that is the cabal is Blackmore, who has deified Roosevelt Skerritt, a man who said when he speaks there for God. And if you oppose him, you're opposing God. And all he can talk is about asses and donkeys in public. Asses and donkeys, asses and donkeys. I don't know who he represents here. Thank you, gentlemen. Great job.
Yes.
You have supported the entire nation, including all the labor rights in Dominica. I am convinced of that. And I know this matter, you're going to be victorious in that matter. Be courageous and be strong. Thank you, gentlemen, on the panel here.
Thanks for your contribution.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And I don't think Dominicans will stand for that, because here it is. I've offered myself my decades of experience as an economist, working all over the world.
Right.
Helping to fix other people's economies. And if you look at St. Kitts, created an opening for thousands of Dominicans to go there.
That's correct. Yes.
And find employment. And I'm trying to do that in my own country. And instead of being taken up and being thanked for it, the government is trying to send me in jail, to languish in jail. I mean, when you think about it, the whole, that becomes instantly evil to me. That here it is that all we're trying to do, all we have ever tried to do, is to just tell the Dominican public how we can have a government that is different, a government that can work for them, and how we can use our skills to transform the economy, to put bread on people's table, to create jobs for the people. That is what we have been preaching. And in exchange, this government is trying to jail us.
Yes, caller, you are on. Yes, caller, you are on. Good evening.
I say praises, thanks, blessings, and glory to all those who have sacrificed their personal safety and security trying to elevate mankind to humanity. Gentlemen, blessings to you all and your family.
Good evening, my brother.
Thank
Many
you.
blessings.
I know Dr. Fontaine, I know So-So, but there is a doctor there. I don't know who he is.
You do him too
You
well.
know me very well. All right.
Who is
blessings.
he? Who is he?
Dr. TC Orthopads, Dr. TC, McDonald
Oh,
Thomas.
Dr. TC.
Yes,
Dominican.
TC.
Dr. TC, are you Dominican? Dr. TC.
Very much so, blessed.
Very much so.
Wesley man.
Wesley, man.
Oh, okay. I maybe know Dr. TC, man.
You know me,
You
sir.
know him too well. You know him too well.
Blessings to you all.
No problem, man.
Gentlemen, I want Doc. You must learn. You may have heard about the false flag attack. Like Hitler, Adolf Hitler did exactly that. The Reichstag fire, burn his own parliamentary building, and blame it on the opposition and jail them.
Wow.
What happened? I was there. I spoke. I asked to say something on the mic, and I spoke. And the whole thing was centralized below the financial center. And I know that Thompson Fontaine, who was at Q95, are you ubiquitous, Thompson? You can be several places.
Good question.
So maybe Thompson was at the studio and still running all around Roseau, have the Navy SEALs and the snipers, the assassins, setting the place ablaze, vandalizing and all of that. And then he left the studio and come there. He was not smelling smoke or anything. I saw him. I felt his hand. I mean, he was not looking rugged. You could see a man that come from air condition. Wasn't that sort of?
Absolutely, absolutely.
So I am saying, could it be? I listened to the wife of the Prime Minister, Melissa Popon Skerrit, say publicly that they have the Navy SEALs and the snipers outside of the jurisdiction of the police force, because we haven't got Navy SEALs. Do we have a military there with Navy SEALs and all of that? I know we may have snipers because the Killmonger Freeman on High Street, somebody sniped him and all of that. So we may have snipers. So could it be that? Could it be, or is it that? How should I state it? I am asking, did the Navy SEALs and the snipers were engaged to create that false flag attack? Burning Roseau, vandalizing, not burn, not fire. Petty vandalization, break a glass there, do little stupidness there, and then blame it on the opposition that were right up by the financial center. And it was not for incitement. Or do you remember what it was for? For a coup.
Cool. Yes.
To overthrow the government with a truck and a tongue system on it. Then they figure out, they brought in the Jamaicans to investigate, and whatever they did, they made people tell them, oh, that nonsense is that. You can't get anywhere with that. Foolishness is that. They narrow it down to incitement. And now you cannot present the case after 8 years, Dr. Fontaine, so on them.
8 years. 8 years.
That is not persecution in isolation. That is stupidity. That is criminality. That is words in my mind to create a description for that. It's not common, and in the interest of time, I am just saying, Dominicans, those who are listening, wake up and come to the realization. They say the snake doesn't hate the person that kill it. It's the person that say, look it. And Leonard Clinton, Edison, James Thompson, Fontaine, and those people that cannot tell Dominicans, look the snake, look it. And Dominicans now want to kill the snake, and the snake agree. Something is the person that point me to all you. It's the first I go into bite.
That's right.
So 8 years now, they're trying to kill all you because all you tell the people, look them, they are snakes. And thanks for the effort, gentlemen.
Yes.
More need to be done. I know the limitation based on financial restrictions and all of that, but the effort, we are consistent. I am on crutches.
Yes.
I draw Jay in. I have a wheelchair there. Once I thought it was an armored wheelchair, but then Matt told me no, it's an ordinary wheelchair. No,
Ordinary
it's no
wheelchair.
fire bombs and thing. It does no Navy SEALs and snipers.
No misses.
But anyway, it's not like the humor because things are tense.
Yes.
Yes.
The
I agree.
people are on edge.
Very
They
much so.
kill one another at the drop of a dime because of the hopelessness. And in closing, I said a lot of Dominicans, maybe 70%, are walking around with a haversack on the back. Full. All the pockets open and nothing is falling. They are full with empty promises. Blessings. Take care.
Yes.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, brother, for your contribution. Another caller? Yes, caller.
Dr. Summers, Dr. Fountain, and so for Rosa. Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Mr. Sinval.
Yes. Dr. Fountain, what is the fare from South Sudan to Dominica?
Well, it costs on average it will be about $4,500 US one way.
US
So it's about
dollars.
$7,000 US dollars.
Is
US dollars.
Back US
US, sorry,
US,
back,
yeah,
US. 7,000. Let's do the
back-
calculation.
back and
That's about
forth. Yeah.
$20,000 US dollars.
Yeah. EC dollars.
And-
EC dollars.
Yeah.
And about how many times you have been to Dominica from South Sudan to answer that
Just for the case, you're talking about probably 12, 15 times.
Right.
Yeah.
So you see the wickedness.
Oh, money you could have
First
saved.
thing, it is having a financial burden on your pocket in the first place, while you are out there working in South Sudan, helping a foreign government to bring prosperity, and you were instrumental in bringing peace to the country. They make sure that they are prosecuting you first to have you to spend money which you need to develop yourself, and then you could help your constituents. And secondly, you hear, I heard you all say tonight, the prosecutor tell the judge, if found guilty, it's a 7 years imprisonment.
Yes,
Yes,
correct.
So the what they are trying, holding on to some straws, hopefully, that you could be found guilty, and the others, Mr. Linton, the Honorable Mr. James, and that you will be put away. Let us suppose you incite someone. 3, 4 of us are charged with incitement. Because I leave, or you were able to buy me, bribe me, and I join your party, I didn't incite anymore. In a democratic country, that alone is cause for the judge to just not listen to evidence and just throw out the case, because it's only in a dictatorship that can happen. You made a very important point about St. Kitts. I worked in St. Kitts for 16 years, Dr. Fountain. My son is there. He was born in Dominica. He's Dominican. And he is now working in St. Kitts, self-employed. He is self-employed and creating jobs for people in St. Kitts. You know, I know there are Dominicans presently who have 2 and 3 jobs in St. Kitts. Dr. Fountain, I am not exaggerating, to make you look good. There are Dominicans who have 2 and 3 jobs in St. Kitts. And it's as a result of what you were able to do with the government to make St. Kitts so successful. Mr. Linton was giving us the stats in Castle Bruce on tourism. When we were, I can remember, I did not take up the figures, but we were ahead of St. Kitts. And right now, St. Kitts has just left us behind. So I also said the people say you all should not take the matter to the public. It is a public matter.
That's right.
We have to be concerned about it. It is a public matter. And then I cannot understand why we have such an oppressive leader in Roosevelt Skerrit, spending taxpayers' money Money we haven't got. People have to buy paracetamol. Just when I had an accident about 2 or 3 years back. I had a
Yes.
fractured rib, and I had to stop and Totos had to go at what's his name again? Long Federation Drive. Okay.
Bullseye.
Bullseye.
Pharmacy.
Bullseye. Totos had to go at Bullseye. Stop at Bullseye for me to get medication. But you're spending millions of dollars to prosecute Dominicans. And I heard you started before sad news, Dr. Fontaine.
But
I wish to
actually,
extend
yeah.
condolences to the. It really shocked me when you said that, because Archibald was my friend, his brother, and I serve in the Commonwealth of Dominica Police Force, and also his son, and I serve in the Commonwealth of Dominica Police Force. So I want to extend condolences to them and all the people of Montreal. Have a pleasant evening, gentlemen.
All right, thank you.
Yes, pleasant
Thank you
evening.
so much. Well, the calls keep coming in.
Yes, we'll take
So
this
we will
one.
take it.
Yes, caller.
Hey, good evening, Soso.
Yes, good evening, sir.
What's happening?
Not bad at all. Oh, sir, good evening to you.
Fontaine, good night.
Yes, good night. Good night.
That's your body.
Yes, sir.
That's your body. What's going on?
I'm good. Good to hear you.
There's light in the end of the tunnel. And who is there again with you all?
Oh, we have Dr. T.C. there with us, our international secretary.
Okay. So anyhow, I glad party with them doing everything, anything you have a starting, it have an ending.
That's right.
Correct.
That's very true.
And so I saw somebody today. I'm so glad, right in my area.
Oh, well, that's good. That's good. That's good news. I will have to come and
Mr. Prevost.
Oh.
I saw that man, and he was moving, and that man see it from afar, so his eyes still bright. And when I reached, he said, I saw you come from there, and I wait for you. No one is not getting old, man. And we stay speaking, still doing the same good work, good gesture. I mean, he's one of the godchild to school.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, that's very nice.
Yes. So anyhow, take it easy. That's one of your boys supporters will look along to Fontaine. So it's ill enough.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you
so
very
much.
much.
Have a
Thank you so
wonderful night.
much.
Thanks. Yeah, no, so
And just as we were talking about Ascrip, he worked at the banana company as well. He was doing spraying this after he
no,
left.
he wasn't after the force. Okay, I'm not sure.
Well, I'm not too sure,
Sure,
because
that's
I
the
know
person,
there was an
I'm not sure.
Archibald man who used to do list spot spraying.
Oh, okay.
So I'm not too sure. I don't want to get confused with that. But let me just say, had the government spent 8 years trying to rebuild agriculture, today I sure would have had black cigar under control.
And all the times that they had me come down, during those times, if they had asked me for some advice.
I'm not coming to that. I was just coming to that with that. So yeah, I don't know. In terms of building entrepreneurship, building hope, restoring the economy, had they asked you for at the 8 years your advice as to what it, and I know you'd not have refused anything.
Mm-hmm.
I believe Dominica would have been better off. Instead, you are spending 8 years just to persecute.
And so they could have
opposition
asked in
members.
secret,
They could have, of course,
Yes, exactly.
they could have done so.
They could have-
They could have done so. So I believe really it's really an
You
indictment
know,
on this government. now.
It really truly is. I mean, when you think of it.
Hello? Good evening.
Yeah, good night.
Yes.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir. Oh, yes, sir. How are you?
What's happening, so?
Yeah, good.
How is Doc?
Good.
Okay, I'm fine, Mr. Hunter. How are you?
It's okay.
All right.
Earlier on, he was on cricket, but this time serious business. I just want to express my I heard Dr. Something said that about Ascrip. Ascrip, that is who died? Ascrip or Ascrip Foundation?
Ask with himself.
Archibald, yeah.
Ascrip worked in the bank industry.
Oh, I know that.
We worked the same place with me too. I wasn't directly with him, but Roberts was his boss. And, you actually like Gabriel who died and Gabriel George and so on. So really, it's a sad thing to know. I mean, I found it strange when I asked him that he was a young chap looking strong and so on, however. And then at the same time, we have Flora who died just recently. So we have 12 band of fellows who died. Well, I mean, let's express our condolences to them because, both Kito
and I'll ask it
Oh, yes, yes,
for the
Kato
next
Farrow,
your
yes,
family.
yes,
You understand?
yes.
Good discussion. You have to hold on still, doctor. It's a good thing that there's George who can give you, can at least have the case and look at the case seriously. Not like before, we used to have people, some people, the Georges, who didn't try to give us any rights and so on. But at least we have somebody, a judge, who is looking at the cases and ensuring that you get justice.
Yes.
Some years ago, we didn't have justice because nobody could have come and give their name and say what they are and explain anything. All they was doing is somebody, some case was just passing on some judge's hand or somebody and sit down with case and all that business. But today we have a judge now who can at least say, look at, give us justice. We are happy what's happening, and we hope in the next 2 or 3 weeks, our men, Thompson, Mr. James, Michael James, and also Linton, you'll be free all to be able to do your country, do the work for Dominica. Thank you for all the work you are doing. Dr. Thomas, Dr. Fountain, you said that I may have to see you sometime. I know you're so busy. Or we expect to see you anyhow sometime.
Yes, I'll certainly be making the rounds there in Calavishi, Peebush, Benz area at some point. So I'll look you up.
Okay. Yeah.
All right.
Thanks for everything.
Yes, thank you, brother. Thank you, brother. You know, and you know, gentlemen, and you were making a point earlier on, because I know you didn't finish with some of what you had to say, somebody interrupted. But we were just saying that the point I'm making there right now, and the amount of money that this government is spending really to bring the opposition members to that court, that money could have been spent otherwise doing good for Dominica. And I cannot believe today, as we speak, we will not able to eliminate Black Sigatoka, but with a good management control program, we're able to at least control the disease effectively. St. Lucia has it under good control. Every banana producing area in the world has it under good control. Why is it Dominica that's kind of good? And don't be surprised. I said before, one day this country will be importing bananas, because this government is really not serious in taking control of this disease. And you know, the amount of abandoned fields I witness around the island when I travel around the island, and you see where, especially during this weather there, humid conditions where the spores, you have high level of sporulation. I will tell you straight that this government is not serious about doing anything, but yet the only good thing they will do, and I say good thing for them, that is what they believe, is look at their self-interest because they're alone doing well, and to try to persecute opposition members. That is so bad for our country. And Dr. TC, I know that you were concerned about the contributions that Mr. James has made. You guys, he made this country in crisis and brought it to recovery. Mr. Lennox Linton has done his due very well while he was opposition leader and did an effective job. No one can say he didn't do the job. And he's opened Dominicans' eyes, at least to see things that we are seeing today based on the CBI program. And, you know, these are men. Look at Dr. Thompson Fong, as we just said, you know, wrong fixing economies, and a real international public servant, you know, people looking out for him, other governments looking out to see how they could seek his assistance, to see how they could restore their economy. And you have 3 men who have done well for this country under that kind of condition. You should have been using those men there to do something more constructive
for the country. You know, you mentioned agriculture. You know, I have some land up in the hills, so. And this weekend I try to go up there. And I'm looking at all these lands, and I'm thinking, when my father owned those lands, how much citrus he had on there. And I was speaking to a lady today. I don't want to mention the name, but because I don't know if she would want me to. But all the citrus he had up there, kush. And I mean, that land was so productive. And the trouble I had getting to that land over the weekend, trying to get there. And I'm thinking, if I wanted to have those lands planted, how am I going to be able to get the produce out of that place? So the result is just to leave it as it is, because to plant it doesn't make any sense. I can't get anything out. So this government, as you said rightly, and Dr. Thompson said, if this government had used the resources that it's now using to persecute members and leaders of the opposition of the United Workers' Party, if they had channeled those finances into more productive and constructive areas in the economy, the results would have yielded fruits for them.
Of course.
Because then they wouldn't have to be taking money out of their pockets to buy an election.
They would not.
They would have been able to go and easily say, hey, farmers, look what I've done for you.
Right. Look what I've done.
Look what you're able to do for yourself because I or we, the government, have put our resources into ensuring that you are independent farmers. But instead, they are focused on tyrannical things that they ways that they can persecute the opposition, wasting a lot of money. The hospital is a problem. Our roads are a problem. Let me tell you, I have a vehicle and I'm scared to go certain areas because I don't know where the next pothole is going to be. You know, years it's taken to repair simple places in the street. We have a caller.
Caller, good evening.
Good evening, gentlemen. I heard the gentleman say that he said something that the politicians would not have to take money out of their pockets. Well, my brother, that is part of the corruption. That is part of the question, Mr. Leonard Clinton. Where are you getting that money from? And we all know what Kerry said: go to hell 3 times. It's not your damn business. And that's the thing. The money, even if they did that, they're not taking money out of their pockets.
It's our own money.
The money is coming from questionable places.
Yes.
Yeah.
We have developers. They have a designated developer, and all that money from the CBI is going to that developer. Most projects, people are suspicious of the top price of them, and we don't know what's happening to that money, what circles it's going in, under which tables it's going,
And the
how
madness
it's coming
continues.
back to haunt us for campaign funding.
That's
So
right.
that is a problem right there. So don't think that money is coming from the pockets of these politicians. It's going in a big wrong circle there, my friend. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
That's correct.
Yes, guys, we have a number of callers lighting up the.
Yes, caller. I think before we end, we'll take you.
Yes, so Dr. Tsitsi just caused me to call back
Yes.
when he said that if the government had done what they had to do, develop the people, develop the farmers, everybody generally, that they would not have to take monies from their pocket to they would be able to work on their
On their
trust.
performance. On their performance.
Yeah,
Yes.
on their performance. Oh gosh, I lose my trend.
No, go ahead.
I lose the trend. What I really called to.
Okay. Well.
Okay. Oh yeah. What I called to, yes, I remember now. A former labor right told me something similar to what Dr. Tsitsi said. Anytime Skerrit would stay in office until he weeping ye. Gentlemen, all you know, I have not heard that word for a long time. All you know the meaning of you know the meaning of weeping ye.
Of course.
Of course. You eat until you don't want more.
Yes, so as Tsitsi said, and that was what Skerrit would stay in the office until he weeping ye. He would not, nobody would remove Skerrit from office.
And the
tired,
question is
just
why?
say,
Why, caller? You have to ask why.
People, I'm tired. That's it. I'm tired. I go in.
Yeah.
So thank you.
You have to ask.
But why you should stay until you opinion?
You have to ask why? Why?
And you must ask why, because let me tell you, everybody has a life, and everyone to enjoy himself.
But gentlemen, earlier the caller talked about the cost, the monetary cost to me. But to me, it's not so much about the monetary cost, but about the cost to my time. Like, I value my time. I mean, that is time I could have spent doing something else. I could have been the number of times, the 22 times I appeared in court. And out of those 22 times, 16 of those times, nothing was discussed. You just
Nothing.
got was just postponed or delayed or put for another day. Because you have to go in at 9 o'clock. Sometimes you get there at 9, and your case is called probably at 12 or at 11. So you've wasted hours in the morning, and only
Right.
to be told, oh, come back next time. So to me, you can put a value on those wasted hours that could be spent thinking about, but how can we transform Dominica? How can we make life easier and better for the people of Dominica? And that's what this is all about. We are in this. I know I can speak for myself. I'm in this because I truly believe that we can offer a different way for the people of Dominica. We can use the resources that we have been blessed with. We can give the people good, honest governance that can transform their lives, transform their livelihoods. And that is what I want to spend my time thinking about. That's what I want to spend my time. I don't want to spend my time in a lawyer's office helping to do research or thinking of looking for cases and trying to talk to other lawyers, trying to get. That to me is a complete waste of time. It's a waste of my energy. It's a waste of my talent. It's a waste of my thought processes. I want to spend that time thinking of how we can fix the lives of the Dominican public, how we can fix this economy that this government has destroyed to the point where, people are living in despair. And as I said today, the best that this government has offered the people of Dominica is, especially our poor or persons of lesser means, low-income people, is to put them in apartments that are rotten, unfortunately.
Yeah,
that's the legacy of this government.
Yeah, that's the best.
Are we taking this final call?
Yeah, we'll take final call before we wrap up. Caller?
Yeah, just quickly, so you have a pen close on a piece of paper?
Yeah, it's right there. The pen is already on the paper.
Yeah.
Let us go one time.
Okay, write it. R-A-C-K.
R-A-C-K.
That's one word. And then the T-R-A-C-K.
T?
Rapture.
T-R-A-C-K.
Okay. Rock track.
Put 1933.
1933. Okay, good.
Just like Hitler fire.
Hitler fire, my brother. And
I want all you to articulate that enough to show the false flag attack on 2017.
That's
they
right.
accused in their position of. Make the nexus, the connection,
right,
to show how criminally minded dictators are. Thank you.
Thank you, brother. Blessings. And on this note, we will end our program here, but we're going to have final words from. Oh, there's a caller. Final call. Final caller. Yes, let's take you. You are on.
Yeah, Mr. Fountain talked about the waste of his time. What about the lack of value for money based on how much is paid to these lawyers? And they're doing nothing. After all that time, they cannot present the case. What kind of value is that for the money that we spent on them?
Taxpayer dollars. Yeah. That was embarrassing.
Very embarrassing. Very embarrassing. Thank you, caller, again. And on this note, Dr. TC, your closing remarks?
Well, let me put it this way. Justice that takes 8 years to prosecute cannot be true justice by any stretch of the imagination. As you said earlier, if as was said in the court, this crime can carry a sentence of 7 years. A crime that supposedly can carry a sentence of 7 years has taken 8 years to prosecute.
That's a cancellation.
It makes absolutely no sense for anybody at all. I want to go back again to electoral reform, because sometimes people look at electoral reform as an election. But as we've said over and over again, elections have consequences. And what it comes down to is, if you don't have proper electoral reform, if the process is not proper, then you don't get the government that you want, which means that the things that you want to happen in your country does not happen. Okay? The things that you want happening to your country do not happen because the leadership that you have is not focused on what has to be done. Because so if I can pay you for your vote, then I need not do anything for you because I've already paid you. So you cannot hold me responsible for anything. I gave you $1,000. You voted for me. It's a transaction that's complete.
Yes.
I paid you. You voted. The transaction is complete. I don't need to see you again. I don't need to speak to you again.
I don't have to serve your interest.
I don't have to serve your interest at all.
Right.
And that is the type of governance that we're having in this country right now. People are getting paid to ensure that this government stays where it is. And once they are paid and the government is where it is, it takes care of itself as number one. And that is the problem we have. So electoral reform comes down to bread and butter issues. In closing, I'm going to tell you this. I went to the store last week and I picked up 7 items in the store.
Right.
7 items. And I was given a bill for $173.
7 items.
7 items. Juices, nothing to eat. Juice, water, the floor cleaner,
Right.
and dishwashing liquid.
So that's almost $25, $24 and something cents average.
Average.
An item.
Wow.
An idea.
And all I could think of is, how is a young person with 3 children surviving on $500 a month?
Oh.
And that is what poor leadership comes down to. When you don't have good leadership in a country, then you have these kind of problems where no job creation, the economy is in shambles. And we in the United Workers' Party, we are saying that we know how to fix these problems. We have people who can fix this problem. We have not only the economic problem, we have people with multi-talented people.
People, of course.
Yeah, who can work in agriculture, in tourism, in the economy, in business, across the board, in manufacturing. And we in the United Workers' Party is asking the people of Dominica is to give the party a chance to get into governance, to turn this country around and put it on a positive slope.
Yes, because up to today, we don't notice Domlec was just shut off around certain areas in the country. And I wonder whether or not the inefficiencies of Domlec, they have not been addressed. And so if the government continues to redirect resources in the wrong way, then I think they should really look to put some resources at Domlec to make sure that Domlec curbs some of the many inefficiencies that they experienced over the years. So we know that is not over. Dr. Fontaine, your closing remarks?
Yes, guys. I just wanted to end with this on this thank you note. I really wanted to thank the many farmers, close to 50 farmers who turned out last week Wednesday in La Plaine, farmers from across the Southeast. And I really wanted to express thanks to them because in a way they've caught the vision of what we're trying to do with the farming community. And it's all about reviving the agriculture sector in that part of the island. We believe that there's a lot that can be done right now. And I want to thank those who put themselves up for positions. We have been able to select a very nice committee that will steer the activities of this group going forward.
Congratulations.
And already we have started getting, in fact, right as within a couple hours of doing this, someone called me and said, we know you're putting the farmers group together. We need 200 boxes of bananas.
One time. You see that? One time.
So I was able to dig into my the farmer that I have there. And I actually got somebody who says, yes, we can do it.
We can commit to do it.
So it is about organizing ourselves. It's about ensuring that the farmers of Dominica, once again, believe in agriculture, because so many farmers have been disappointed. And I should just add as well, if anybody has I was asked for a number of cucumbers. I could not. I said I've not found anybody with those numbers. But what I'm saying is that there are opportunities. There are opportunities in terms of marketing our products. But farmers have to have this confidence to be able to get back into it. And our farmers group is to not only help on the marketing side, but also with the inputs, with education, and with just organization. And we've circulated a set of questionnaires to the farmers, and we are asking them to fill that out too, so that we can have a lot more information as we build a database of who is there, what is available, what the plans are. So I think I'm very excited about that, and I'm just really, blown away and really, really thankful for just the large number of farmers who turned out, including some very young farmers. And I'm really appreciative of that, and I believe that we have a great thing ahead of us, and that's why I'm going to spend my time and my effort in, not showing up in court for 10 hours or 5 hours and wasting time and trying to make me to a criminal. That's how I want to spend my time, building Dominica, building the country,
building people
and providing opportunities for people. And so I hope this mischief making by this government would stop. But I know it will not, because, as I said, it's a government that is clearly desperate. Clearly desperate, because they understand that their days are done, that they're on their way out, and so they will do anything. But at the end of the day, that does not frighten me. He does not deter me. We are strong, we are resolute, and we'll keep fighting and pushing on.
And Doc, I hope that the invitation will be extended to farmers outside, because I have 5 acres lying there. I want to do something with it, and I want to be part of the production drive. And I can guarantee you I'll spend my resources, but I want to be guaranteed that my progress will be sold.
So absolutely.
That's all.
My 5 acres too.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, right.
so
right.
yeah, it
Bring
is
in the
10.
five-
You have 10 in studios
10
already.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, good night, everyone. Our listeners, we want to thank all the callers who called. Dr. Thompson Fontaine, I want to thank you for coming into the studios. Dr. McDonald Thomas, TC, our International Secretary. Thank you again. It's an honor to be between two PhDs. Yeah, I'm feeling honored, you know. And as we said, we have the capacity to build this country. We are just asking Dominicans to do the right thing. We can do it collectively. When you wake up in the morning, you are determined that you're going to work to feed yourselves and your families. You can also wake up tomorrow morning or anytime elections are called and decide that we are going to remove the government collectively. So let me just say good night to everyone. There's better hope. There's hope. There's encouragement and there's vision for a better Dominica. But we have to do it collectively. We can do it. We cannot say we cannot do it. We can do it. And we have to do it so that we can change this country, so that everyone will have a better quality of life. So let me just say thank you to everyone and have a good night. Till next time, we say good night. Workers' Voice.
Hear the children crying. Hear the children crying. Saying, give thanks and I will be Lord. Saying, let's get together. Be Lord. Oh. Let them pass all the dirty remarks. There is one question I'd really love. Is there a place for the hopeless sinner who has hurt all mankind? Just save his soul, believe me. I don't wanna but let's get together and be Lord. Wasn't a beginning, one love, yeah. Praise to the Lord, and I will be Lord. Let's get together and be Lord.